Hey YouTube, Sandy Frank here. This week's episode of Hobby Talk, I wanted to talk about a subject that's definitely been thinking about for the last couple years, in fact, and tried to do a little digging on by talking to hobby shop owners and things like this. But it is the ridiculous, out of control prices of hobby boxes of cards. Where you buy them from online, whether you buy them at a local hobby shop, etc. It really hasn't affected things like this, like retail things. Retail stuff has gone up the past couple years, but if you can find it, it's usually at good prices. But this is a really bad example because this is actually a product that's pretty cheap. But like the example I'm going to use is Select Football Hobby. So in 2017 and 2018, just 3 or 4 years ago, you could go to your local hobby shop on release day of Select Football and buy as many boxes as they would let you buy. I think they probably had limits back then to where people couldn't just wipe them out. But the release day price was always really good. It was, I'm pretty sure it was around $200 a box. Prism basketball was in as recent as 2018. On release day, you could go to your local hobby shop and buy a hobby box of Prism basketball for $200 on release day. I definitely did. And then over the last 4 years, that price is pretty much almost kind of tripled year after year. It's been insane all the way till now. Now you can go online and get the brand new 2021 Panini Select Football Hobby boxes for $1,500. That's right, $1,500 for one hobby box of Select. And I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, there's a couple pretty decent quarterback rookies in that class, but nothing like 2020, 2018, 2017. I mean, the prices of hobby stuff, especially in football and basketball, has gotten insane. And it's leaking into other non-sports things as well, like Marvel stuff has gotten, it's not as bad as football and basketball, but it's definitely more pricey than it used to be. Star Wars definitely has at least doubled, on sometimes tripled, for new box stuff that comes out, hobby box things. So it's been very frustrating as a collector and someone that enjoys opening new stuff when it comes out, especially right here on the channel, when you can't find it at a reasonable price. And so I talked to several hobby shop owners and asked them, why in the world are hobby boxes so much more expensive even on release day now? And they said it's because of the distributors. The distributors are charging way more. So the way they painted it was they're taking their same small profits that they, like, I'll just use numbers. They didn't give me specific examples, but say a box costs them $100, they'll sell it for $120 and make $20 off the box. So they're not making, the picture they painted was they're not making a ton of money off the box. So when the distributor triples their prices, the hobby shop owner has to charge way more because they're having to pay $300 for a box now and selling it for $350. I'm just using random numbers. I don't know what the exact write-ups are, or the profit margins are on these things. And you can see this happening with a little bit with Pokemon. When Pokemon was very hard to find and was really hot, when new booster boxes would come out, they weren't the usual $100 for a booster box, which every new Pokemon set that would come out on release day is usually $100 or less. Between that $90 and $100. And then when things got crazy, some sets would come out at around $150 a box, which in that world, that's a crazy jump up in price. It's come back down to like $110 a box now with new Pokemon sets coming out. So that market has kind of corrected itself a little bit, but not hobby basketball or hobby football. That stuff is insane how expensive it is. And it comes out right out the gate that expensive. And I witnessed, I think it was last year when 2020 Panini Select NFL football came out. Now I feel like that was a way better set, a lot better rookies and such. When that set came out, I saw a guy buy a whole case of that 2020 hobby Panini Select football. And I kid you not, $1,500 a box. And he was very happy to pay it. So there are definitely people out there that are more than willing to pay these crazy prices. And of course, you can blame breakers maybe. I mean, I like certain breakers. I use them from time to time. I'm not going to name any names in this video, but you guys probably know what breakers I like to use. I talked to them. They said the same thing. The stuff's more expensive because the distributors are charging more. But is it because of breakers that this is happening? Because there's not too many collectors out there that can spend $1,000 for a hobby box. But if you buy into a team break and you get a random team, you can stomach paying what? Let me take my calculator out. Let's say the box is $1,500 divided by 30 teams. That's $50 a team. A lot of people can stomach paying $50 for a team because it's less of a hit on their bottom line than paying $1,500 for a whole hobby box. But guess what? You're probably only gonna get a handful of cards for that price. And if you're lucky, you'll get randomize that team, or sometimes they have pick a team. Of course, the more expensive teams, the better teams, are going to be super expensive. But a lot of people point to breaking as people that are buying in breaks will pay whatever price that you put out there for them to get into a break. So then they can charge way more for a box because breakers are making this much money per box. I see some of that. I think that definitely has some merit to it. But are the hobby shop guys the bad guys, or is it the evil distributors the bad guys, or is it the manufacturers the bad guys? Everyone seems to be pointing the fingers at the distributors. And kind of to explain how this system works as it works right now is, let's say Topps, the company, will make the product. That's the manufacturer, and then they sell the product to distributors and at a certain price, and then the distributors will sell to hobby shops and those types of online card shops, online breakers, all that sort of thing. The distributors, they sell to them and they make their money off the box, and then the hobby shops / breakers or whatever then are selling it to us, to the consumer. So the distributors are the middleman in this situation, and they were the ones everybody's pointing the finger at. It's those distributors, those evil distributors are charging more, so we have to charge more. But after reading an email I got the other day, I'm not so sure that is completely accurate. I'm sure it has something to do with it. But I got an email from Panini the other day. Panini will sell hobby boxes straight to the customers, cutting out the middleman. But guess what? They charge $1,525 for a hobby box of 2021 Panini Select Football. So they're no better than anybody else. The fact that they're charging that much direct to customers tells me that they were probably charging that much to the distributors, and the distributors were getting blamed for all this when it really might have led all the way back to the manufacturer. Manufacturers are seeing, wow, our boxes on the secondary market are getting huge prices, which may be fed by people doing breaks and people realizing, wow, if you can sell each team for $50, you can sell a box for $1,500. So it kind of just compounds itself. And the manufacturer was like, why are we selling these for $200 a box right out the gate when we could just charge, what the breakers are charging or what the secondary market is charging? So I think the fingers probably should be pointed to the manufacturers, because I can't imagine the distributors just all of a sudden getting super greedy and wanting to make thousands of dollars per box. And Fanatics, who bought Topps, and I believe they're buying Panini, they're going to be controlling everything here pretty soon. And they want to cut out the distributors completely out of this. They've already announced they're not going to use one of the biggest distributors that there is out there. They're going to sell their hobby boxes straight to hobby shops, and I imagine they're probably going to do direct to customer type sales, cutting out the middleman. But we already can see these manufacturers are going to charge what we would have had to pay anyway going through this whole system the way it was before. So it's not going to save people money by cutting out distributors. They're just going to raise the price and take in that much more of the profit. And if they do sell things directly to customers, and like the hobby boxes, if they sell hobby boxes directly to customers and hobby shops, I mean, you're not going to get much of a price break whichever way you go. I don't think they're going to give hobby shops a huge discount, and I don't think they're going to give us, if we buy direct from them, a huge discount. So you throw that into the fact that Fanatics is now going to be controlling the entire game. I don't think we're going to see cheaper hobby boxes anytime soon. In fact, usually when a company has a monopoly on things, that's when they raise the prices. So we may be seeing prices go up for stuff, especially the more exciting releases. Like here's a really bad thing this year. Topps Chrome Hobby, which I love that product. To me, it's the best Topps product every year. If you go try to pre-order a jumbo hobby box of Topps Chrome Baseball 2022, not even knowing who's going to be on the checklist, it's over $800 a box. That is insane. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And then you throw in the fact that they're printing stuff to the moon. They're printing way more product than they were 5 years ago. And it's costing, 7-8 times more than what it cost back then. Yeah, it's just a really bad deal for people that collect things. And it's leaking over into non-sports with Star Wars. It's leaking over into Marvel. It's just turning out to be bad. And the only thing I can think, and plus, breakers usually stayed away from those type of products, but now they're starting to break Marvel stuff. I don't think I've seen many people breaking Star Wars stuff, but some breakers that used to only break sports, now they're breaking Marvel stuff. You know that stuff's going to go up in price. Thankfully, a lot of those places, they stay away from the lower end baseball, where like Topps Allen Ginter used to be something that people would the breakers would do case breaks of. They don't really do that anymore. Just not enough money to be made in that stuff for them. So those prices have definitely, stayed reasonable. And like Heritage, no one does case breaks of Heritage anymore. And Heritage, look, the prices are good. So there is a lot of credence to breakers causing the prices of the products they like to break and sell to the customers. Those products are definitely the ones that really skyrocketed in price. And I mean, they're going to keep going up as long as there's people out there that'll pay that much to get into brakes. And the manufacturers see this and they're like, wow, these breakers are making $1,500 a box for this. We need to charge that much to sell our boxes. So it's a big mess. And if you think, oh, braking is going away, just go check out how many online breakers there are, of how many boxes of just tons and tons of cases and boxes that all these, there's got to be 1,000 online breakers out there at this point, and they all especially want to break the really expensive Panini stuff and the basketball and football and higher end baseball stuff like Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, that kind of stuff. So I think, man, it's hard to blame just one person for the price increases, but everyone is palpable. Even the people that buy into brakes are a little bit your fault too. My fault. I'm not pointing the finger at people buying brakes, because I've bought into brakes too. Because, I want a little taste of some of these cool products, especially stuff I collect, without buying a whole hobby box. So I think everyone's hands has a little bit of dirt on them on why things are so expensive. And I just don't see an end to this immediately with how popular card collecting is right now. It's having its boom day right now. It will eventually dry up. It'll get too expensive and enough people will be like, forget this, It doesn't take me getting burned too many times on brakes to where I don't want to do brakes for a while. So hopefully I am a lot like a lot of other people, where if you get burned on a brake, that it causes you not to do brakes. But when you get that big hit, you want to keep going because you're hot, right? But anyway, I just wanted to make this video because I kind of see that all those fingers being pointed at distributors may not be the case. They may not be the bad guy. It's probably everybody's the bad guy of why hobby box prices are so crazy nowadays. Anyway, and that finger has to point at me also. I open stuff online, I just open it for me, but I'm buying the boxes too, so crazy times. Anyway, put down in the comments, guys, what do you guys think? Who is ultimately responsible for all these crazy prices on hobby boxes? Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Later.